This is Akintola Samuel, and you're welcome to another module of the 360-degree mastery. In this particular module, I want to speak to you on how to know what to do when you don't know what to do, right? Every one of us will find ourselves at points in life where you would not know the next step to take, when you need to make critical decisions and you are faced with so many choices, and you know that whatever decision you make at that particular point in time will affect the rest of your life. The decision of who to marry, the decision of what school to go to, the decision of where to live, the decision of how many kids to have, the decision of where to invest your hard-earned money, right? So many decisions. And when you don't know what to do, there are certain things that you can do that will help you make the right decisions. The unfortunate thing is there are people in this world who would never accept that there are times when they don't know what to do. So I want to speak to you first on how to know that you don't know what you're doing. Because some people, out of pride, never get to that point where they accept that, of a truth, I don't know what I'm doing. But you see, there are certain indicators, there are certain things that when you begin to see in your life, you can, of a truth, if you be honest with yourself, say that of a truth, I don't know what I'm doing. The first indication that you don't know what you're doing is that you keep making the same mistake over and over again. Especially when those mistakes are needless. You know, there are mistakes that are excusable, but there are certain mistakes that when you keep making over and over and over again, it might be mistakes in your relationship, it might be mistakes, financial mistakes, it might be career mistakes, it might be mistakes in your business, it can even be marital mistakes. When you realize that this thing has become repetitive, this mistake keeps happening, it simply means in that particular area of life, you don't know what you're doing. The second indication you don't know what you're doing is that you are constantly failing where others are succeeding. You are constantly failing where others are succeeding. You see, that thing you are failing at or that thing you are failed in, everybody is not failing in it. A failure is a reflection of ignorance. It simply means that that which you are failing in, you don't know anything or you don't know enough that is required to succeed. You see, students that fail, is not that they don't know anything, it's that they don't know enough. Did you see that? 40%, I think, is pass, or is it 50%? You see? So if a student gets 40 out of 100, he still got something, he got 40. But 40 is not pass mark. 40 is not an A, it's not distinction, it is not excellence. He knows 40% of the 100%, but he does not know enough to be a distinction student. Do you see that? So it's very important you realize that when you are failing where others are succeeding, it is because there is something they know that you probably do not know. The other indication that you don't know what you're doing is that you are not making the progress you know you should be making at this season of your life. You see, you would never accept that you don't know what you're doing except you are honest with yourself. There are times I look in the mirror and I have a conversation with the man I see in the mirror, and that's with myself. And I tell myself, is this where you are supposed to be at this season of your life? If the answer is no, why am I not where I'm supposed to be? What did I get wrong? What am I doing wrong? You see, so when you realize you are not making the progress you should be making, it simply indicates that you don't know what you're doing in that particular area where success seems to be very slow and progress simply is non-existent. The next indication that you don't know what you're doing is that you are investing so much time, so much energy, so much resources, but you have very little to show for it. Have you been there before? I've been there. You are putting in the energy, putting in the time. You are even almost getting to the place of frustration. Like, what am I supposed to do? That's when you see people saying things like, I've done everything. No, you've done what you know to do. If what you're doing has not produced results, it simply means that there is something else that needs to be done, or what you're doing can be done in a better or a different way. That's what it means. So when you notice you are putting in your time, you are putting in your energy, you are putting in your resources, and you are still not producing the result that must be produced, or you are producing so little, is an indication you don't know what you're doing. Next is that there is no clarity or certainty of the outcomes of your decision. That is, you want to take this decision, but it's a gamble. You can't say with assurance and conviction that this decision I want to make, this step I want to make, this is what is going to happen. This is where I'm going to end up. If you are not so certain about your decision, you are not so clear about the outcome of the decision you are making or the decisions you are about to make, simply means that you don't know what you're doing. Because if you know what you're doing, you'll be able to say with conviction that if I do one, I do two, I do three, right, in this particular order, then this is what is going to happen. This is going to be my outcome. You see, the next indication you don't know what you're doing is that your decisions produce more failure than success. Your decisions, they are producing more failures than success. So when you realize that, you see, everybody is going to fail. There is nothing you can do about that. But when you fail, ensure you are failing forward. However, your failure rate must not be higher than your success rate. The moment you weigh yourself on a balance and you realize that, or you notice that your failure rate is higher or it far outweighs your success, then it simply means you don't know what you're doing. 5 things you shouldn't do when you don't know what you're doing. 5 things. Because when people don't know what you're doing, they make rash decisions, they do things that eventually get them in deeper troubles. So there are 5 things you must avoid doing in seasons where you have realized that I don't know what I'm doing. The first thing you must avoid, right, is to become apprehensive. Avoid becoming apprehensive. The moment you get too emotional, you are going to make a wrong decision. You see, you can never have sound judgment when you are in an emotional state, right? When you are too emotional instead of being logical. So avoid being apprehensive. Apprehension makes it difficult to think straight. Apprehension makes it difficult for you to think right. That's why the Bible says, be still and know that I am God. Be still. Be in a state of calmness. You see, because if you're apprehensive, you will fall into error. If you're apprehensive, you will make the wrong decision. The second thing you must never do when you don't know what you're doing is don't seek for help or counsel from just anybody. Oftentimes we are guilty of this, the best of us. You are going through certain things, the pain is so much, you feel so overwhelmed, and you just talk to the next available person. And you see, because of the states in which you are in, you are vulnerable to anybody's opinion, vulnerable to anybody's counsel. That's why you see people do things in moments and in seasons of contradiction that when they look back, they are ashamed of what they did. They're like, why did I do this? I knew better than making this kind of decision. But you see, they sought for counsel from just anybody. You see, they listened to just anybody. They spoke to who they were not supposed to speak to in their season of vulnerability. So when it is obvious you don't know what you're doing, don't seek for counsel. Don't seek for help from just anyone. Because getting help, right, from an unqualified source and from people you should not get help from can lead you into bigger troubles. I've seen people going through financial challenges and they went to get money from loan sharks because they just wanted to get out of that financial difficulty. And guess what? They got themselves into deeper trouble. They couldn't get the money back. The people came after them, started harassing them, destroyed their reputation, almost threatening their lives. So they turned a temporary problem into a permanent and a deadly situation. So when you don't know what to do, avoid seeking for help, right, and counsel from just anybody. Next, be careful what you say. Your words are powerful, especially in moments of intense emotions. You see, your words are more than vocal sounds. They carry creative power in the realm of the spirit. So when you don't know what you're doing, be careful what you say. Don't say things like, I'm finished. I am stupid. Be careful what you say to yourself and be careful what you say about yourself. Your words are seeds, you see, and seeds eventually grow to become a harvest. If you don't want to harvest it, don't sow the seed. Be careful what you say. Be careful what you say to the people you love and the people who care about you. Be careful the response. Sometimes we are going through a season of contradiction, and what happens is we fight with the people that love us the most, the people that have been patient, the people that have been with us for a while, and we just transfer aggression, right, on them. Don't do that. Be careful what you say when you don't know what you're doing. Number 4, don't be wise in your own eyes. Don't be so wise in your own eyes. You see, what I mean by that is, don't get to that point where you just say, it's because I've not made the right decision, so let me keep making decisions. At least one will eventually pan out to be successful. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Stay humble. Be teachable. Seek for solutions, right? The 5th thing you must not do is don't make a decision hastily. Sometimes the best decision is not to make a decision. I'm going to say that again. Sometimes the best decision is not to make a decision. Sometimes the best decision is not to make a decision. Don't rush into making decisions. Take your time, especially when it is obvious by all indication that you don't know what you're doing. You are not you don't have the right body, the body of knowledge required to make sound judgment, right? Just ensure you calm down. You don't rush into making decisions. You are not in a hurry to do things in this season of your life. So what should you do? How do you know what to do when you don't know what to do? Number 1 is pray. 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 If there is a man that can pray, there is a God that can hear. There is no religion in the world that does not pray. You see, everybody believes in prayer. Everybody understands the power of prayer, but how many people pray? Don't downplay the role of divinity in the affairs of your life. Don't be so logical that you become don't be so logical that you stop being spiritual. Learn to pray. God understands what you're going through anyway. He knows everything about everything. He created the minds that created, and invented the things you and I were taking advantage of today. So the one that gave you that brain and gave people that mind, do you think is not intelligent enough to give you a solution when you are going through seasons of contradiction? Pray. Talk to him about it. The reason why many of us don't pray is because our ideology and understanding of prayer is faulty. You see, we see prayer as a battle, prayer as a warfare. Prayer is a conversation between divinity and humanity. A whisper could be a prayer that, God, I don't know what I'm doing in this place. Can you please show me the way? Can you please raise up help for me? Can you please, open my eyes to see the light at the end of the tunnel? I'm drowning. I feel like I'm about to lose it. What am I supposed to do? Reveal it to me. Show it to me. As simple as that is prayer. That's prayer. You see, prayer is also making a request, asking for the help of the only one that can help you. So when you don't know what to do, number 1 is learn to pray. Learn to pray. Learn to pray. Many people don't pray because of pride. They believe I know what I'm doing. Some people, it's assumption. Some people, they don't pray because they rather talk to other people instead of talk to the God that knows their tomorrow more than they can remember their yesterday. Some people don't pray because of an acceptance of faith. They just believe whatever will be. Que sera, sera. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. No, learn to pray. The second thing to do when you don't know what you're doing is that you must hang around the people that have proven over time and with their results that they know what they are doing, especially in the area where you don't know what you're doing. So for instance, if you've been making the wrong relational decisions, you've been making the wrong marital decision, you've been making the wrong financial decision, you've been making the wrong career decision, you've been making the wrong decisions in business, hang around the people that have proven with their life and results that they know how to make the right decision, that they know what they are doing in the area of marriage, they know what they are doing when it comes to business, they know what they are doing when it comes to investment. Hang around people that have proven that they know what they're doing, because you know what? Stuff rubs off. Stuff rubs off. That's why, the wisest man that ever lived before Christ, Solomon, said, those who walk with the wise will be wise. You see, you want to become wiser, you want to make better decisions. Hang around the people that have proven with their life and results that they know what they're doing. Relationships are powerful. Your association determines your destination. Your friends determine your end. Don't joke with the relationships in your life. Don't be sentimental about it. The third thing you must do when you don't know what to do, how to know what to do if you don't know what you're doing, the third step you must take right? To know what to do when you don't know what you're doing is that you must be mentored. Seek for a mentor. Pursue a worthy mentor. Your mentor is your food. If mentorship is going to be maximized, you must understand the law of hunger. The law of hunger simply says food does not go after an hungry man. It's an hungry man that goes after food. If you are truly hungry to get out of where you are, seek for the people, right, that have navigated that season, consistently navigated it, successfully navigated it, and ask them to mentor you. Humility is a requisite to mentorship. If you are not humble, if you are not teachable, no one will be wise enough to mentor you. Nobody will be smart enough, according to you, to mentor you. I have mentors. Now, the other side to it is don't have too many mentors or else you become confused. Learn from so many people, learn from everyone, but everybody cannot mentor you. I don't have up to 5 mentors. You see, I don't have up to 5. Maximum, there are times I oscillate between 4 and 5, because you can't have them too much. Because you see, the reason why many people don't maximize mentorship relationship is because they have too many. And to maximize the mentorship relationship, you must invest in those relationships. So you are spread so thin and you cannot afford to maintain each of those relationships the way you should maintain it. So at the end of the day, you lose those relationships. Be mentored. Someone has gone ahead of you. Someone has done that thing you want to do. Someone has achieved that thing you want to achieve. Someone has consistently made the right decisions in that area of life where you want to make decisions, right? Seek for their wisdom. Ask them to mentor you. And mentorship is not a relationship one party is oblivious of. Mentorship only happens when both parties are aware of what the relationship is all about. The mentor must know and the protege must know. Someone that does not know you is not your mentor. At best, they can be your teacher and your instructor. But a mentorship relationship is a formal relationship. You must make it formal. Seek for worthy mentors. Pursue them. But most importantly, ensure you are mentored. The next thing to do when you don't know what to do is to do research, study history, and go after knowledge. Do research, study history, and go after knowledge. Do research, study history, and go after knowledge. You see, it's been said that history often repeats itself because people don't learn from history. There is nothing you are going through that is so special. There is no decision you want to make that is so exceptional that no one has ever made before. Anytime you find yourself in a state of confusion, in a state of overwhelm, where it seems as if there is no way out, go do a research on the people in your industry, in your work sector, in your field of play, and learn what they did in that season of their life and contextualize it to fit your own situation. I love reading biographies. I love watching, you see, one of the ways I relax is to watch movies, and my best movies are historical movies. I love watching epic movies. I love watching historical movies. I love movies that tell me about the history of mankind. Because if you understand the past, you can predict the future. If you understand the past, you can accurately predict the future. Most of the things that happen in the human race are simply cyclical, stuff. Things that have happened before. They happen in a different version. They happen in they wear a different marks. They put on a different face. But some of the things happening today are things that have happened before. For instance, look at the world of fashion. There are things we are wearing today that our parents wore. At a point it went out of fashion, but it came back. Somebody revamped it. Do research. Study history. Go after knowledge. The more you know, the more effective you are in making decisions, in making the right decisions. Learn to be a student of life, a student of people, a student of the past, a student of what is working, also a student of what is not working. Find out why some people failed. For instance, you are going into IT, you are going into technology, find out why Nokia failed. Find out why BlackBerry became extinct. Nokia used to be a very successful company. They started out as a printing company, producing paper, but they innovated. They moved into technology, but guess what happened? At the point they stopped innovating. BlackBerry was produced by a company called Research in Motion. Unfortunately, they did not live up to their name. They stopped researching. Their research was no longer in motion. Their research was now in stagnation. And so they went out of the market. Learn from history. Why did some people fail? I love studying people that have... I remember a couple of days ago, I was having a conversation with one of my mentors, who has a relationship with one of the most successful person, in my field. And I asked him, I said, what do you think is responsible that for the last 40 years, this particular man has stayed on the radar? He was asking me, my mentor was asking me the names of so many people. And I said, sir, I don't know this person. He said, really? He said, I didn't even know it's that bad. I said, what do you mean by that? He said, for you not to even know these people, he said, I knew that these people have faded off. They have gone off the radar. But for you not to know these people, as studious as you are, it simply means a lot of people in your generation would not even know these people ever existed. And many of them are still alive. Isn't that amazing? So the fact that you are relevant today does not mean you will always be relevant. The fact that you are getting clients today does not mean in 2 years' time you will keep getting clients. So I asked my mentor, I said, how come this person in the last 40 years, over 40 years, he's been doing this in ministry and he has stayed relevant? He has stayed in the news. He has, people keep talking about him. You see, his work keeps growing. What do you think he knows? And he told me some things that I'm not permitted to share in this module, right? But do research. Be a student of life. Be a student of what is working. Be a student also of what is failing. The mistake many people make is because they don't study failure. They only study success. So if you don't know what made others fail, guess what? You can learn about success all you care. If you don't know what brought some people down, you can be succeeding. But what you did not learn that made others to come down will also bring you down. I learned about men like Jim Baker, men like Jimmy Swaggart in the US, men who had massive work and everything just came down. Some of them it was because of women, some it was because of finances. So as a result, one of the things I did when I was going into ministry years ago is till date, I've never signed a check. Never. There is nothing we do as an organization that is not open. Anybody can access it. Nothing. There is nothing private about it, nothing secretive. Because I learned that it was what brought some people down. You see, women, I don't stay in an enclosed place with a female that is not my wife. I don't. Because but you should be stronger and anointed. Okay, continue. The people women brought down, they were also strong and anointed. Now, it may not be an area of weakness. Nothing may even happen. But what if somebody lied and said something happened? Because you did not create system to prove that nothing happened. You see that? So learn to do research, study history, and go after knowledge. And last but not the least is learn to ask questions. Ask questions. Ask questions. Many people don't ask questions. When you go to your mentor, don't go there to be gisting. Don't go there to have a nice time. Don't hang out with your mentor. If you want to hang out with someone, hang out with friends, not with a mentor. Did you see that? Go with questions. Every time you are with a mentor, every time you are with those who have succeeded, every time you are with those who have gone ahead of you, you see, learn to ask them questions. Sir, how did you do this? You see, I ask questions a lot. Some questions I've asked in the past, I will even ask again. Because sometimes the answer may have changed. Some people have received responses to certain questions, but the answer to that question has been upgraded, but they are staying with the old version of the response. You see, there are things questions I asked 3-4 years ago. My mentors gave certain response. I asked them the same question this year. They gave a different response. It simply means they have learned more. They have discovered more. So they are no longer operating with outdated knowledge. Knowledge not updated will soon make you outdated. Knowledge not updated will make you outdated. Learn to ask questions. Ask questions. When you don't know what to do, ask questions. Never assume you know what you're doing. That's my own lifestyle. I don't want to assume I know what I'm doing. Even when there's an assurance I know what I'm doing, I still ask questions. What do you think about this? How should we go about this? Until your results prove you know what you are doing, never assume you know what you're doing. I pray for you As you make decisions, your decisions will turn out right. Your decisions will lead to success. And your results will show that of a truth you have made the right decisions. You will not fall into errors. Where others have failed, you will succeed. In the name of Jesus. I hope you have learned something in this module. Remember, it's not about what you learn, it's about what you put to work. Till I see you in the next module, God bless you. Have a great day.